What's all this? Okay, morning everybody once again. I've sent back all our feedback, so please, if you have any questions, please ask now. I think that's on the average, everybody did well, just little mistakes that we made. So please download the attachment that I sent back to you. Then you will be able to see what you missed. Okay, please download the attachment. So going back to that worksheet that I sent to you, we're going to look at the last two aspects today. We're going to look at the last two aspects today. One aspect is solving radical equation. But before then, can we begin with, okay, let's solve question 11 together. I think we should solve question 11 together. Let's solve question 11 together. Question 11 says everybody should have their worksheets with them. Do we? Do we have our worksheet with us? Opened? Please make sure you have it open. So two ways you can actually solve question 11. That's right. So we're still on Surds, and today is Monday 27th. And this time Monday, I'm seeing you guys live. Yay! Who's happy? I'm happy. I'm happy to see you all. The last time we met was 22nd January. So you know why I'm happy now. That's 4 months ago, right? Or 3 months ago. So we're still on Surds. What I want us to do today is two things I want us to be able to handle today, and we will be fast with it. The first, solve radical equations or equations in Surds. Second, find square root of Surds. After these two, we're done with Surds. So I was talking about question 11. We did it quite well, and so I want us to just look at it from last class, okay? From last homework, question 11. The question says, express root 5 minus root 3 divided by root 5 plus root 3 all squared. Express it in the form p plus q root r. Express. Okay. None of the questions says find p, q, and r. It only says p, q, and r are rational numbers. That is why I didn't mark. Those of you that wrote p is equal to maybe 8, I think, q is something, r is something, I didn't award any point because they were not part of the questions. Okay, it's just express it in that form. Once you express it in that form, I think it's 8 minus 31 root 6 or something, or root whatever. That's the end of it. That's all you have to do, or root 15. But if the question says, given that this is equal to p plus q root r, find p, q, and r, that's when I need the value of p is this, the value of q is this, the value of r is this. Does that make sense, everybody? Do you understand my point? Okay. The question only says express. The question never said find p, q, and r. Okay. If the question says find PQ and R, you must find PQ and R like most of you did. If the questions only says express it and stop there. Okay, so of course, some of you have just done more than you are expected to do. It doesn't mean you are wrong. Okay, it's just that you have done more than enough. Okay, so of course, it's better to do more than to do less. I wanted to, the comment I wanted to say on this is that you can do it in two ways. You can either square the value. So because there are two approaches people use. So first approach, first we square. Okay, we open the brackets. To open the brackets is to have okay, I think it's better this way. First approach is to do root 5 minus root 3, root 5. So this is square first divided by root 5 plus root 3 . So this is one approach which a lot of you did. You don't have to write this if you got it right, unless what I'm writing is different from what you did, then you can write it, okay? I just wanted to give a general feedback based on my observation. So, of course, when you multiply this, you're gonna get 25. No, root 25. So I write it in form of root minus root 15 minus root 15 plus root 9. Similarly, I get root 25 plus root 15 plus root 15 plus root 9. Okay, I'm just writing, I could have written 5 here and 3 here. Okay, so I'm just being slow with it, just not to assume that everybody can be that fast. So I'm going to be having 5 minus 2 root 15 plus 3, 5 plus 2 root 15 plus 3, which gives 8 minus 2 root 15. Then 8 plus 2 root 15. As I wrote in someone's comments, the lower the numbers you are dealing with, the better for you. Because somebody was having root 900, root 9,000, and they were just being complex. So if you look at it, 2 can be factorized. And here also 2 can be factorized. Such that, okay, someone is joining. Sanika has not been here. I thought Krista was the only person. No, Banika was here. Maybe she mistakenly logged out. Okay, so with that, the question is reduced to 4 minus root 15 divided by 4 plus root 15. As I commented in someone's work, I'm sure you know yourself if you have checked, somebody first did multiply by root 15 over root 15. No, you don't do this. You do this when you have a monomial, although after doing that, the person eventually got 4 root 15 minus 15 divided by 4 root 15 plus 15. Then later, this person now multiply both numerator and denominator by 4 root 15 plus 15, no, minus 15. That's the, now rationalize what he or she should have just done here. So this is just waste of time, waste of energy. Of course, this person got the same answer, but this method is not expected. Okay? And if we are to rank your work, you know, IB will give you a grade of say 1 to 7, right? You know, these are some of the techniques they use. I showed you that day some of the requirements. You want to see how somebody applies something. It's not about just getting the answer, because this is not, oh, you got 10%, you got 20% kind of a thing, all right? So straight away from here, what we expect you to do is just rationalize. So when you have binomial denominator, 2 term, you do the conjugate surd. Okay, nothing more. You do the conjugate surd. conjugate of this one, you use to multiply both numerator and denominator. That's what I mean. Okay. So this is just square. So that would be 16, 4 times 4, then 4 root 15, another 4 root 15, then root 15 times root 15 is just 15. We don't have to write root 225 because the last property of surd we wrote is that root a times root a is just a. And this will just be difference of 2 squared. 4 squared minus root 15 squared. Okay. So that gives us 31 minus 8 root 15 divided by 16 minus 15, which is equal to 1. 31 minus 8 root 15 divided by 1. And finally, 31 minus 8 root 15. So the question says, express in the form of P plus Q root R. It means a number stands alone, then another number and square root. Even if your answer is 31 minus root 15, yes, another number is here, which is 1. We don't just put it there. Express, you have expressed it, and that's it. No one asks you for P, Q, and R. Does that make sense? So this is the end. If the question had said find P, Q, and R, then you can go ahead and find P, Q, and R. Okay? So nice work, everybody. The other approach, the second approach, another brilliant approach that some of you did, is to simplify before your square. Okay? So I will call this square later, which means you bring out that root 5 minus root 3. Root 5 plus root 3. Okay? You don't square them first. You square them later. Okay? So the first thing you would do is to rationalize by multiplying by root 5 minus root 3 divided by root 5 minus root 3. Okay? And this will be square of this. So root 5 times root 5 is 5, root 15, root 15, then 3. And this is difference of 2 squares. Root 5 squared, root 3 squared. Some people did this. So that would be 8 minus 2 root 15 divided by 5 minus 3, which is 2. So I'm going to bring out 2 here, so we don't waste time. So that after subtracting this and I get a 2, I can cancel, giving me 4 root 15. So if what I have inside the bracket, the content of the bracket is this, then everything I'm asked to express is just this squared. So, I will now say, I will go, you can see what I'm writing. Now I'm not going to write the original question. I hope everybody is looking at what I'm doing. So I'm not going to write the original question. I'm saying that, so the original question is now 4 root 15 squared. Can you see how I connected it? You have to connect it logically, all right? So with this, you can now show us how you expand the bracket. And that will be 16 minus root 15. Okay, remind me 4 hours time. Thank you, I'm busy. And another root 15, then plus 15. Then that gives that minus 2 root 15. You see, we still got the same. Oh, wait, something is wrong. That's 4 root 15, not root 15. My bad. Should be 4 root 15 minus 4 root 15, then plus 15. And finally, you get 31 minus 8 root 15. So irrespective of which approach, did you square first, did you square later, you still get the same thing. That's the point we're trying to make here. So well done. For those of you that did either the first or second approach, I just wanted to point that out because it's an interesting question to do. So quickly, we're going to solve some simple rational question. We just focus on the types of question 16. Of course, it's easy. Everybody look at question 16. Let's say question 16C. Can I give you 5 minutes? Question 16C, everybody. 5 minutes, question 16C. You can copy this later, go to the activity. Leave some space for this one. I'll send you the picture after the class. If I forget, I'm sure Giselle will ask me to send it. So she's our constant reminder person. Am I right, Giselle? Giselle wouldn't let me rest unless I send it. So we are covered because Giselle got our back.
Was it 16C?
16C, sir, yes.
Okay.
16C. Root 5x plus 1 minus root x is equal to 2. Let's take for just 5 minutes, then I can do some correction if need be. Then I can show you how to find square root of surd, and that's it for today. And that's it for the topic. Are we almost done? If you are done, signify.
I'm done.
Good. I hope you didn't write 2 lines.
I wrote 5.
That's too short for the solution, I think. I don't know. I'm just thinking. Might be too short. Maybe not. Maybe I haven't done it in a long time, so I wouldn't know. As long as you haven't skipped too many stuff, that's fine. Okay, let's begin to wrap up. Then we can all do it together if we need to. So I'm going to write the question on the board now because we have 15 minutes to the end of the class. That's 16C. That's 5x plus 1. Minus root x equals to 2. Let's do this together because of the time. Then you can check with what you have done. What's the first thing that anybody did? Tell me the first thing that you did. Joey?
Square both sides.
Okay. Square both sides. Okay, that's something, but it might be complicated if you square both sides. So what you could do is take, yes, somebody wanted to say something.
Oh, like I moved the negative square root x to the other side. And
You
then
can do that.
square.
Square. Because it's less complicated like that. Understand what I mean, sir? So you have that one. So it's easier if you square both sides here. Imagine if you are squaring both sides with root 5x plus 1 minus root x all squared. So that means you have another, you understand what I mean? So you're still going to get the result, but it's just less complicated if you can do this first. So if you square both sides, so this is root 5x plus 1 all squared, 2 plus root x all squared. Of course, this is easy. That's 5x plus 1 by the properties of Surds. The other one, 2 plus root x, needs to be duplicated. So this is 5x plus 1. Now this is 4, 2 root x, 2 root x, and this is x. All right? So this is 5x plus 1. Actually, yeah, okay, we can do that first. This is 4 plus x plus 4 root x. So we have just one square root left. Leave the square root on one side and put the others on the other side. So 5x minus x plus 1 minus 4 equals 4 root x. So you have 4x minus 3 equals 4 root x. Is that what we did? Those of us that have done it? Good. Then you square both sides again. So you have 4x minus 3 all squared. Then you have 4 root x all squared. Of course, 4x minus 3 all squared means 4x minus 3 bracket 4x minus 3. And this means 4 squared and x squared. 4 squared and x. So I'm just going to write 16x. Okay. With this, we can have 16x squared minus 12x minus 12x plus 9 minus 16x, or let's say is equal to 16x. So this is 16x squared minus 24x, then we can bring minus 16x because clearly is a quadratic equation. So this is 16x squared minus 40x plus 9 is equal to 0. This is what we solve. Okay?
Can I ask a question?
You said what?
Can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
Why is it 16x on the right side?
This one?
Why is there 16x on the right side? Yeah.
This one?
Yeah.
This one was brought here.
Oh, wait, never mind. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry, I looked at it wrong.
All right. So this guy is now here. Everybody remains where they are. Everybody's under arrest. Freeze, FBI. Okay. So what are the factors of what is 16 times that? That's 160 minus 16, 144. Am I right? Am I right, please? And what are the factors of 144 to give 40?
Oh, 4 and 36.
Say that again.
4 and 36.
4 and 36. Yes. So we have 16x squared minus 4x minus 36x plus 9 equals 0. So 4x is common, 4x minus 1. Minus 9 is common, 4x minus 1. So 4x minus 1 is common now. Then I have 4x minus 9. So either 4x minus 1 is equal to 0 or 4x minus 9 is equal to 0. So here 4x is 1. Here 4x is equal to 9. Here x is equal to 1 over 4. Here x is equal to 9 over 4. That's it. We don't need to remove any, disregard any of them because both of them are valid for the results because none of them is negative. If one of them was negative, then you can include a comment, but x must be greater than 0, therefore x is equal to whatever. Because this cannot be square root of negative. Okay, so since both of them are positive, we are good. So both of them are valid answers. You can check. If you put x is equal to 1 over 4, so the first one becomes 5 over 4 plus 1 minus square root of 1 over 4. This one is 9 over 4, so that's square root of 9 over 4 minus square root of 1 over 4. So we consider the positive only. When dealing with surds, we only consider the positive. So this is going to be 3 over 4 minus 1 over, no, 3 over 2 minus 1 over 2. And that's what? 2 over 2, which is equal to 1. Something is wrong.
Yeah, only one of them works.
Only one of them works?
Mhm.
Okay, so that 1 over 4 seems to be wrong. Let's see the other one. So the square root of, when I put this, 5 times 9 over 4 gives 45 over 4 plus 1, square root of 9 over 4. This is 49, definitely. So that would be 7 over 4 minus 3 over 4. No, 7 over 2. So that gives us 4 over 2, which is equal to 2. So this is the valid answer. So this is not a valid answer. So we can conclude by saying, checking, okay, by testing each value. So I can say by testing only x is equal to 9 over 4 is a valid solution. So we can stop here. Okay, so check for the validity, and only that is a valid solution. So some radical equation can be more complicated than this anyway. Okay, like the questions in the worksheets, questions in I talked about using conjugate methods or substitution methods. I can show you that briefly maybe next time, but it's not something you should worry about. That's why I'm not laying emphasis on it. Let's quickly look at the square root of surds. Please permit me to move to the next page. Because of our time, we only have 5 minutes more. For the square root of surd problem, I will be picking, square root of surd question can be found in question 18. Okay, so I'll be picking the question A. No, that's not square root of surd. Square root of surd can be found in question 14. So I'll be picking the one with minus. There's a reason I'm picking the one with minus. It's different from the case of the one with plus. So the one with minus, 8 minus 2 root 15. So the question is, find the square root of okay, when you say find the square root of something, and actually 2 root 15. Are you paying attention, please? I need everyone's attention. So it's like saying find the square root of A, but this time around we are trying to find the square root of this. Okay, find the square root of this, but this number happens to be a surd. That is why our surd on the average is a positive number. We don't consider this square root for plus or minus, for example. Okay, but we have called it square roots now. So of course we'll consider the case of plus or minus, and I'll tell you how that reflects. Okay, I'll tell you how that reflects. So the first thing we normally do is to assume the square root is in the form of what you are looking at, root 15. So I would say because it has minus, I can actually make use of plus too. So I'm going to say the square root is in this form. Why am I thinking in that line? If I have, now because it has minus, I will use minus. I'm allowed to use plus too. So why am I thinking in that line? Let's see, when we squared, look at this. When we squared 4 minus root 15, this is what we got. Can you see that? Yeah? Which means if you find the square root of this, this is one of the square roots. Am I making sense? Hello? That's one of the square roots. Okay? Let's see what happens if I do root. Now this is 4 minus root 15, right? And when you square that, it gives you 31 minus 8 root 15. Let's say if I do root 15 minus 4, you can see that they are not the same, right? One is 1 minus 2, the other is 2 minus 1. They are not the same. This number in the bracket is -1. This number is +1. So they are not the same numbers. Okay, but we expect their squares to be the same. Hello, do you agree with me? Can I get some acknowledgement? Okay, we expect that square root. So if we do this, the first would be root 15 times root 15, that is 15. Then we have root 15 times 4 twice. That would be 8 root 15. Then we have minus 4 squared. That would be plus 8, plus 16. You see, we're still going to get our 31 minus 8 root 15 back, which means the square root of 31 minus 8 root 15 is actually 4 minus root 15, or root 15 minus 4, which is more or less plus or minus 4 minus root 15. Plus 4 minus root 15 is this. Minus 4 minus root 15 is minus 4 plus root 15, which is this one. Please confirm if you understand what I just said.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Understood.
All right. So what I'm trying to say, when we have the case of negative, you will be having two, these sorts, they look alike, but just like if this one, A comes first, B will come first in the other one. So that is the position of the plus or minus. That is significant of your plus or minus. But you don't have to write plus or minus here. It will reflect in your results. Okay. So what we normally do to find square root of a number is to say, we don't know what the square root is. So we say, let the square root of 8 minus 2 root 15 be m minus root n. Okay, m minus, oh no, m minus n root 15. You can see from what we did here, that root 15 comes back. Okay, but we don't know if this is 1, we don't know if it is 2, but we know it's going to be some number k. Okay, that's why we said that. So with this implies that 8 minus root 15 itself will be the square of this. So in the case of plus, your m will be plus and this will be minus. Remember, it's going to be in plus or minus form. In the case of minus, this will be minus, this one will be minus n, so that will be plus. Okay, so but this is general form. You don't have to do the two cases. Understand what I mean? You don't have to do the two cases. All right, so with this now, we're going to square that one. I hope this line is clear to everyone. Please confirm. Everyone understand this line? Yeah?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, thank you. So with this, we will expand. So this means our 8 minus 2 root 15 is m minus n root 15 bracket m minus n root 15. I'll try to wrap up in 4 minutes so we can go. Sorry for the delay. So this means this is m squared, mn root 15, another mn root 15, then plus n squared times 15. Okay, so this becomes m squared plus 15n squared minus 2mn root 15. Understood? So we're going to compare that with 8 minus 2 root 15. When I say compare, we look at the surd part and we look at the normal one. So this is the surd part, and the one with no surd is this. Okay, so we compare both sides. If you compare both sides, then it means m squared plus 15n squared is equal to 8. That would be equation 1. The second part, so when you compare the second part, you only look at the coefficients, if I may use that term. You only use as the coefficient of root 15, which means anything before root 15. You don't need to write everything. So anything before root 15 is minus 2mn is equal to minus 2, which means actually mn is equal to 1. So that would be your equation 2. Does that make sense? So,
Yes.
So from equation 2, which is mn is equal to 1, it means n is equal to 1 over m. So I can put this, so equation 1, so I'm going to put this, maybe I call this 3. I'm sure you know substitution method. Put 3 into equation 1. If you put 3, there's a reason I want to get to this, a particular point before I ask you to do the DIY. M squared plus 15n squared is equal to 8 now becomes m squared plus 15 1 over m squared is equal to 8. So m squared plus 15 divided by m squared is equal to 8. Can you see this? Now, I can decide to clear the fraction. I will get m to the power 4, 15, 8n squared. It doesn't look like quadratic, but it is actually quadratic in disguise. So one option, of course, if you write m squared, maybe I do this.
Mr. Daniel,
Yes.
I think it's 8m squared.
Yes, 8m squared, sorry. Sorry about that, 8m squared. So one option, this is where I will stop, then you can continue. One option is to just say, okay, clear the fraction. Let's say we don't know what to do. This will be m to the power 4, sorry. You know what I mean by clear the fraction, right? If you multiply through by m squared, right? Let's divide it into 2 parts. Multiply by m squared. So that gives m squared, m to the power 4, sorry, plus 15, 8m squared. Then you collect, you rearrange m to the power 4 8m squared plus 15 equals to 0. You want it to be quadratic, but it's not looking quadratic. Then you can say m squared squared 8m squared plus 15 equals to 0. Introduce a new letter. Let m squared be a. So you have a squared minus 8a plus 15 is equal to 0. Can you see that? Alternatively, instead of doing all this, from this point, you can say put or let, okay, you bring this step first. Let m squared be equal to 8, be equal to a. If your m squared is equal to a, then this equation becomes a plus 15 over a is equal to 8. And when you multiply by a to clear the fraction, you get a squared plus 15 is equal to 8a. And then you get your equation back. So I want you to complete this. You solve this, you are going to end up getting a is equal to 3, a is equal to 5, which means your m is root 3 and root 5. So when you get your m, put it back in n. So 1 over root 3, you rationalize. Remember how to rationalize, times root 3 over root 3. Okay, something like that. You get your n. So you get your m, you get your n, substitute here and simplify. Then you get the two possible square roots. Am I making sense, everybody? Okay.
Yes.
You are going to end up getting a is equal to 3, a is equal to 5. Substitute, remember m squared is equal to a. So m will be equal to square root of a. So m will be square root of 3 or square root of 5. Then you also remember that n is equal to 1 over m. So n is equal to 1 over root 3, for example. But you do not leave it here. Remember, we talked about that last time. So you have to rationalize. So that would be root 3 divided by 3. So with this, m is equal to this and n is equal to this, then one of the square roots, which is m minus n root 15, becomes root 3 minus root 3 over 3 times root 15. You simplify this, you get 1 square root. With the other value for the root 5 and root 5 over whatever, you get another value. Okay, to check, take the square of these values and see if you get the original thing back. Am I making sense?
Mr. Daniel,
So I need
can't
you to
n
complete that.
be
What?
can n be negative root 3 or negative root 5?
Everything you are getting, you have a point there. You are talking about, okay, what if we have square roots of both of them? You are still going to end up getting the same thing. Take, for example, if you do this, look at this. If you do this now, let me show you something, why you don't need to apply that. Everybody, are you looking? So this is root 3 over 3. This root 15 is going to be root 3 times root 5. Yes? This is this, right? Talk to me if you understand what I just did.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so this is going to be 3, agreed?
Yeah.
And divided by this
Yes.
3 is 1. Okay? So that would be what? Root 5. So this is what you end up getting. The other will definitely become root 5 minus root 3, then the other root. If you use the negative, you're actually, if you use negative root 3, you're going to end up getting this. So you don't need to consider the plus or minus. Just consider root 3, root 5, just a positive value alone, because you are all going to, if you end up getting maybe 8 different possibilities, all the 8 will end up becoming these 2. All right, so Kelly, to answer your question, leave it as just positive square root throughout, because every other possibility will lead back to these 2 options. The first one will be this. If you carry out the same process, you will end up getting this one. Am I making sense? Any other question? Any other question? Okay, so this is where we stop. Immediately after this class, I will send you those screenshots. I want you to do as homework, maybe 2 other square roots of surd and 1 radical equation. Then we meet on Wednesday. Okay, just for you to do your own self-practice. All right, I'll see you next time. I'll post the video later if you need to review it.
Wait, Mr. Daniel,
Yes,
isn't
miss.
Wednesday a holiday for us?
No, holiday start from Thursday. Lazy girl. Holiday start from Thursday, not Wednesday. Okay? Do you understand, Kelly? Are you trying to go somewhere with mommy and daddy?
No.
Save it till Thursday. Lazy girl. Just kidding. All right, I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Have a nice time.
Bye.
Bye.